Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oreo Plays Things. Today I'm pretending to be a reviewer. Specifically, I want to do a quick review of Secrets of Rydicon. It's been a while since I finished that Let's Play, and now that I've had some time to really think about my experience with that game, I wanted to kind of get my opinion out on it. Because it was a really fun game, even though there were a lot of really strange things about it, and the ending was very emotionally draining, let's say, and a little out of place. But we'll get to that. What I want to start with is, well, the start of the game. Kind of interesting how kind of just drops you in, absolutely no information, and it's not until you hit the ground that you actually get any direction at all in the game. In a lot of games, that kind of thing wouldn't really work. Can't really get away without some small kind of a tutorial to tell you at least, how to put one foot in front of the other. But Secrets of Rydicon is it's a very simple game in most ways. So having that intro segment of this kind of almost forced helplessness, but that you could easily get out of just by using what you would normally use in a video game, I feel like it really kind of works in its favor, because there's not that many controls to learn. You've got your flapping, you've got that scream thing that's barely useful. I think over the course of the Let's Play I used it maybe 3 times for its intended purpose, and all the other times was just button mashing. Although I did figure out that strange star thing I picked up at the end of the last video, that actually makes it so that when you use your scream, it just pulls things that are collectible towards you, which that's a pretty nice endgame reward. Although it would be a lot more useful if you could collect it sooner, because I don't think it pulls the runes towards you, the letters, which honestly is the only thing you could still be looking for at that point. I don't know if there's any... I don't know for sure if you can collect that before you've done most of the game. You'll be most of the way through the game before you can get that power. But you've got your flapping, you've got your screaming, you've got grabbing, and that's pretty much it. You can throw the silvers out, but that's more of a necessity than a real command. That's just you use that when you need to get the shards, and that's about the only time. So it's a 3-command game, and that's pretty much it. It doesn't give you any direction until you find the shards for yourself. I mean, while it's teaching you how to play, you don't actually know what the goal of the game is until you've pretty much run headlong into the first shrine. And a lot of games, as I've said this before, a lot of games that kind of thing wouldn't work. But this is a nice, simple little, experimental kind of game. And this lack of direction kind of makes it a more personal experience, maybe? That's how I feel, anyway. But the really simple gameplay, I think, really works in its favor. And it helps to soften the blow of the quote-unquote story, because there's not really a whole lot of that. And the story that there is that isn't shared through the different runestones throughout the game, the translatable things, the story that isn't shared through that is pretty much just there was some lost civilization that left all these machines around, and you're just kind of a passerby figuring them out. I don't really know a whole lot about what those runestones said. I remember looking at the wiki page once or twice just to see kind of what was going on, but the fact that you have to translate them all yourself in-game kind of makes it not a task that you really want to go for, and none of the runestones say anything useful to you in-game, so it's all just kind of background lore. And all it really serves, from what I remember on the wiki, is to enforce the idea that all of this stuff was left by some previous ancient race or something like that. And then there was that really huge one up in that top corner of the map that was just, I think that was some kind of poem? Some kind of poem, someone won a contest to get into the game or something on the Kickstarter, something weird like that. Nice little touch, but nothing particularly important. I do think that stuff would have been a lot more poignant and useful if, like, maybe as you collected runes, it filled the letters in, so you could actually get yourself into the lore. So like when you're in game, you can read one of the rune stones and actually see the progress you made in collecting the runes. I feel like that could have been helpful. But I suppose the mystique of having it remain untranslated until you've done it yourself is also kind of nice. I don't know. I found it to be annoying. That's why I just used the wiki to look up what they said. Not really a whole lot else to talk about that game. The ending was suitably underexplained to match the feel of the rest of the game. I'm not really... Just remembering it is kind of messing me up a little bit. Why Pong? Why Pong? Is it supposed to imply that all these ancient machines were left by us? And that disturbing machine just runs Pong. It doesn't really seem to have a whole lot of narrative connection to much of anything. And it really comes out of the blue and kind of ruins the experience almost. Like, the game itself is still really fun, and it's a nice experimental type of indie game, but that ending is just unnecessary and confusing. Perhaps it didn't really need an ending. I mean, it could have been fine just being kind of a perpetual open world bird game. I would have played that for at least a video or two, even if there were no shards or anything to collect. Just be a bird. People have made money on weirder simulators. I mean, hell, Farming Simulator has like this huge online following, and then Train Simulator. Have you seen the DLCs for that? I just think that the game either should have done a little bit more with the story, or it should have bucked the story entirely and focused on the environment and on the different, the ambiance and all the things like that. Because the game works really well, but the ending just kind of takes all of that and makes it pointless. And that's how I feel. I don't know if that's how anyone else feels, but I just felt like getting my opinion out there, doing a little retrospective on how I felt about Secrets of Raidicon, now that I'm all done with it, and I liked it. It was really weird, and the ending was weird, but I liked it. It was a good game, and I hope I find more like it. So that's my review, my little review on Secrets of Raidicon, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.